Hello and welcome to Blessing Minds. Kindly like, share, and subscribe our channel.
Welcome back to The Explainer. So, today's topic, it's kind of meant to be a warm but, totally unflinching wake-up call. We're getting right into the psychology of self-sabotage, and we're going to look really closely at the invisible barriers we place right in front of our own potential. If you've been feeling stuck lately, this might be exactly what you need to hear.
Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to sit with a slightly uncomfortable possibility for a second. What if the absolute biggest obstacle standing between you and your goals isn't actually a real problem at all? What if it's just a habit of your own mind? A comfortable story, dressed up so convincingly as a massive problem that you've just entirely stopped questioning if it's even true.
To ground this, let's look at Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman. He spent decades studying how our minds process challenges, and his conclusion is, well, it's pretty sobering. He points out that our minds actually manufacture permanent barriers out of temporary issues. It's like we let these magnified problems just set up camp and become permanent residents in our heads. And then we organize our entire lives around them, while our actual potential is just sitting in the corner waiting.
To start dismantling these protective illusions, we first need a paradigm shift. Part 1. The paradigm shift. Defining a fake problem.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that a fake problem isn't just something made up out of thin air, right? It has actual emotional weight. It feels completely 100% real to you. But its defining quality is that it literally cannot stop you unless you let it. It's an illusion. It's a psychological protection mechanism designed for one thing and one thing only: to keep you comfortable.
And Dr. Charlie Harriet Maitland validates this perfectly. Listen, you are not weak for having these fake problems. Every single human being on the planet has these protective mechanisms: delay, avoidance, self-criticism, you name it. But awareness is the very first act of freedom. Once you can actually see them for what they are, that's when you can start to dismantle them.
So, part 2, the mirror, 10 common illusions. We're going to hold up a mirror really fast, and let's see which ones you might recognize.
Okay, we'll start with this first batch, what we can call the illusions of preparation. First up, overthinking. Now, a Harvard Medical School study actually found that overthinking fires up your amygdala, that's the brain's fear center, which literally paralyzes your ability to take action by suppressing clear thought. Then you've got things like waiting for the quote-unquote right time, telling everyone you're too busy, or claiming you're just not ready yet.
We love to tell ourselves that we're just being careful, right? Being productive. But the real truth, you're hiding. Busyness is honestly one of the most socially acceptable avoidance strategies out there. Research by Cal Newport shows the average worker loses over 2 whole hours every single day to low-value distractions. And psychologist Dr. James Tobin found that a staggering 20% of adults are permanently stuck in this not-ready mode. Honestly, you're not preparing. You are just avoiding.
Let's slide over to the next group, the illusions of expectation. Number 5 is the fear of what people will think. Number 6 is perfectionism. And number 7 is comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Now, these often disguise themselves as just having high standards, but make no mistake, they are incredibly sophisticated masks for fear.
And this brilliantly illustrates a psychological concept known as the spotlight effect. Basically, we dramatically overestimate how much other people actually notice us. The real truth? People are way too busy managing their own fears to judge yours. Plus, that perfectionism you might be holding on to, it's this rigid, all-or-nothing mentality that absolutely guarantees action paralysis. Perfection isn't a standard, it's just permanent delay.
I really want to anchor this harsh reality with some powerful words from researcher Dr. Brené Brown. You have to realize that when you worry about judgment and compare yourself to others, you are literally comparing your messy, behind-the-scenes reality to everyone else's carefully curated highlight reel. It just doesn't work. You absolutely cannot grow if you insist on staying perfectly comfortable.
All right, here is our final batch, the illusions of circumstance. We've got victim mentality, mistaking comfort for happiness, and using your past as a permanent excuse. Now, let's be super clear here. Past pain and genuine hardships are incredibly real. No one is denying that. But psychology studies consistently show that making your past a permanent excuse for why your life can't change, well, that correlates heavily with catastrophizing and having incredibly low personal agency.
Think about the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. The man was literally born into slavery, yet he observed this incredibly profound truth. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Your past is a record, guys. It is not a prediction. Choosing comfort over growth or letting yesterday dictate today, it just breeds this quiet, persistent misery.
Let's move to part 3, the root cause, peeling back the mask, and see how this all builds together. Because if we strip away the unique disguises of all 10 of these problems, we find they actually share the exact same DNA.
Overthinking, perfectionism, comparison, busyness, they are all at their absolute core just fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of change. Your brain is literally creating these fake problems to keep you perfectly safe from the vulnerability of actually trying.
But here's the thing, and psychologist Dr. Susan Jeffers points this out beautifully. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is actually a signal. Think of it like a compass, pointing directly toward the exact thing you most need to do. And guess what? The fear only goes away when you finally go out and take the action.
So how do we actually fix this? Part 4, the blueprint, how to break free. Let's walk through a concrete, science-backed psychological framework.
Here are your 4 steps. Step 1. Name the fake problem specifically. UCLA's Dr. Matthew Lieberman actually found that simply naming an emotion literally shrinks its intensity in your brain. Step 2. Question it honestly. Step 3. Take one imperfect step. And step 4. Protect your momentum. Stanford researcher B.J. Fogg proved that taking tiny actions releases dopamine, which essentially rewires your identity from someone who waits to someone who actually moves.
So the crucial point here, and this is a core principle of cognitive behavioral therapy, is that action precedes motivation, not the other way around. Ask yourself right now, if I wasn't afraid, what would I do right in this exact moment? Then do it. Do not wait until you feel ready. Act first, and I promise you, the readiness will follow.
Take psychiatrist Viktor Frankl. He survived the horrific atrocities of the Holocaust, and yet he made the conscious choice not to be permanently defined by that past. He proved that the human spirit is capable of so much more than our immediate fears allow us to believe. When we can no longer change a situation, we are directly challenged to change ourselves.
We're going to anchor our final thoughts today with these legendary words from Nelson Mandela. True growth, real personal evolution. It starts the exact moment you stop hiding behind your comfortable excuses. It's not impossible to break free from these fake problems. Honestly, it never was.
So, you now know what a fake problem is, you've seen the 10 most common ones holding us back, and you know they are really just fear in disguise. So here's my question for you. Which excuse are you going to drop today? It's time to leave those comfortable stories behind, take that one imperfect step, and step into the truest version of yourself. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.